One. Hey, everybody, welcome to That's Good Stuff. And this time we are here for an album review. That's right, one of the rare album reviews we do. This time it's 21 Pilots. They just released their seventh studio album, and that's called Clancy. And we are going to take a look at it. Before we go track by track, why don't we get your initial impressions on the album and kind of what you thought of this band up to this album? Okay, so Jared, you can take it away.
This is their seventh?
Yeah, they have
Mhm.
a bunch of early ones before
Mm.
that one they're known for.
Mm.
Haven't really heard those.
Mhm.
I thought they started. I always thought they started with Blurry Face. I don't know their early
That's
stuff.
their fourth, I believe. Jonah, you know?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, fourth.
Stanley Yelnats the fourth. I I really like this one. I'm just gonna say that I think it's a better Trench because I wasn't really huge on Trench like you guys. I always thought it was kind of boring in the middle. But I think this is a better one, a better version, because I feel like it shares a lot of similarities at points. And
But continues the story that they were going for. I know you said that they
Mhm.
have like a story for these albums.
Mhm.
So it kind of concludes that. I gotta agree. I'm warming up to where I kind of like it better in the trench. But what do you think, Jonah?
I don't think anything's gonna beat Trench for me because I love that album. This is certainly an improvement on the last album, though. So,
Yeah,
because I really did not like that album.
no, I talked about that a little. It was weird. It was just like a pop album for some reason. And
the
so this,
in the story you're talking about, it does there's an explanation for it, I guess. So,
hmm, that would make sense.
yeah,
It's the weird chapter.
it's like kind of like a sellout pop album on purpose, kind of for the story or something.
I
What I
see.
get from it.
That's kind of been done with like songs. Like remember like Foo Fighters, they made that one song that sounds like
like the Mentos
Yeah.
song, "Big
yeah.
Move."
So
It reminded me of like when the Cure's happy or something.
so it's been done, but not by like a whole album, I don't think.
Yeah.
Maybe, but not one that recall. So let's get into this album. So we'll go track by track, and the first track is called Overcompensate. And I thought this was after the last album, I was like, okay, this got us back on track. This is a
Hmm.
more heavy sound that we're used to. And it has a lot of callbacks to other stuff in this song. What did you guys think of the first song?
You can go first, John.
Uh, yeah, same. I liked it. It's definitely like a course correction kind of from their previous stuff, and like you said, it does have the phrase from Banditos, kind of from Trench. But I like it. It's the most like single, like worthy song of the album. It
Yeah,
just kind of to give an impression of the rest of this album, so I like it.
This was
Jared.
the first single that came out
Hmm.
to kind of hype this album out, and I like it. It's definitely like what you said, like the most single of the whole album. When it first came out, I was hoping the whole album would sound like this. Kind of like it sounds like Levitate from Trench, kind of like more rap heavy, and the drums I like on this song, real fun. Um, but yeah, it was a really good first single.
Yeah, and like you said, this album does play with kind of different sounds and different genres. And like the next song, which is Next Semester, it's very has like a punk flavor to it,
Hmm.
especially at the beginning. And it's just like a fast. All these songs are they're short, right? I think only one is over
Yeah.
a
The
minute.
last one,
Yeah. And that's because there's kind of a false ending to it. So all these are pretty short. And what did you guys think of this one? This kind of punk sounding one.
I like the punk sound to it. Um, this one's pretty just straightforward, just a like rock song, but it's pretty fast and energetic, but it's also pretty good.
Yeah, when it first came out, I was like, "What the heck?" Like when the singles were dropping, um, I was like, because it's very like you guys were saying, pop punk, and when I first heard it, I was because we just got overcompensated. I was like, "Oh, that's good," and like I was saying, it was kind of what I was hoping for, and then this came out, and I was like, "Well, that didn't happen." But um, when I listen to the album, I actually look forward to this song a lot. It's very energetic and very bright, and I like it.
Yeah, it's not like old punk, I should say. Not like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
80s punk or something, but it's like Jared said, pop punk. So the next one is Backslide. I thought this one sounds a lot like the older stuff, like Trench and Blurry Face.
Yeah.
It's we've talked about this before on album reviews. It has that choir harmony that we're not too fond of, but on this one, it's okay. I did kind of like this song. So what do you guys think?
Yeah,
Uh,
I don't have much to say about it. It's very chill. It's got kind of like that Nico and the Niners kind of feel, where it's kind of like I guess you would call it like reggae, I guess, or like kind of
Yeah.
something like that. But I like it. It's a nice. After the first two songs, you need kind of a more held back song, and I feel like this one really helps out.
um, yeah, like you said, this is their most like them sounding song, kind of if that makes sense. And I don't mind the harmony like you guys do. I kind of like it, so it works. And like I was talking about with one of the lyrics that stood out because I was talking about the last album. He says something like, "I regret doing Saturday" or something. That was a song from the last album, so that's interesting.
Yeah, that's always cool when they call back. All right, so the fourth or track. I don't know if I said the name of the second track was next semester. I don't remember if I
You
said that.
did.
Okay, so the fourth one is Midwest Indigo. This one it starts with the kind of 80s kind of synth in the beginning. Um, it was good. I just kind of get distracted by the video because he's like handing out buns without anything. And I'm like, why are you eating buns without anything on them? But
Is
yeah,
there a
I
video for this one?
yeah. So
They
I
released a video for all the songs on this album.
except for one which says it's coming in June. I think that was the last
Yeah,
one, maybe. No, they have one for the last. I don't remember which one it was, but there's one that's coming early June, it says, so maybe next week. But yeah, I like this one. I don't know too much about how it stands up, but what do you guys think?
I like this one. It's got like an indie feel to it.
hmm
It's almost like something Two Door Cinema Club would do.
The
Um,
Killers kind of.
yeah. I thought it was like their most like not them, but I did enjoy it.
Uh, yeah, same. It definitely had like a more indie pop kind of feel, and I love the synth at the beginning. And that is one thing I love from this band is the variety of like genres they put into one album. And yeah, I don't think I think it's a little weaker than the first three songs, but I still really like it.
Okay, so now we get to the portion of the album which I thought was the strongest was the next two songs for me personally. The fifth one is called what is it? Routines in the Night.
hmm
And I really like this one. It leads into the song really fast. And then I like it's got like this smooth beat going on through it, and I really like that. What do you guys think of this one?
This one I don't have much to say, but I do like it. It's a cool song. It's very like a night song. Like it
Yeah,
encapsulates that. But yeah, I enjoy it a lot.
Yeah,
Julia.
same. It's more like a hip hop kind of song, and like you
Yeah.
said, like more like night, like kind of calm vibes. But I think I really like I think this might have like my favorite lyrics of the album, and it just flows really good, and like the rhyming and everything is really good, so it's pretty good.
So yeah, these two songs were a little different too, because the next one is probably my favorite on the album, and that was Vignettes. Um, go ahead and talk about it
Okay.
first? I got a look at my
Um,
notes.
so this one stands out the most, I feel like. I feel like this is the strongest contender for like the big single from this album. It's so like earwormy, like it gets stuck in your head the most.
Hmm.
Especially the chorus. Um, and then I really enjoy the synth in this song, especially how it outros the song. It's really good.
Yeah, I agree with the chorus is really strong in this one. I love the start, how it like gets you into it, and then they roll it back a little and then start the song.
Hmm.
Um, and then he almost, I mean, I don't know if there's actual rap on this album, but this one he kind of raps in it. So what do you think?
He always has like little bursts of rap throughout the
Yeah,
songs.
they're not like it's not he's not like a rap artist, but he
Yeah.
has like
Yeah.
rap. So what do you think, Jonah?
I'm gonna be unpopular with this one. I don't really care for this song, but
Really? That
Wow.
is
and
Shocking.
unpopular.
it's for like the same reason you like it. It's the chorus. I think it does like start it like immediately, but I think he's kind of like yelling it, and it's kind of like screechy sounding to me. And I just don't really like the sound of how he sings this chorus.
That's
And
I I
another
can
thing I like is when he screams, and we don't get a lot of that in this album.
yeah.
yeah,
I usually don't like when he does like his high pitched voice. I
Hmm.
usually
yeah,
like when his vocals are just rapping, but with this, I think it works very well.
Yeah,
It goes with the song, like it has these little jumps for the chorus, and I like it.
yeah, I agree. Okay, the next one is called The Craving. So this is the slow song, guys, and I don't think 21 Pilots kind of excels at slow songs, but I don't know. What do you guys think?
It's definitely the weakest. I'll talk about it a little more later on. But unfortunately, it is like the one skip song. Like this is almost a perfect album for me. I feel like I can go through it. But
Hmm.
this one, it just like really just becomes so crawl. And I feel like they can do better slow songs. Like the last song, I feel is like how
hmm.
they should do it. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
but
I
this
like
one
the
is
last
just
song.
this one's almost like a filler. I don't really care for this song.
Did anyone hear the single version of this?
No,
I heard it. I feel like I didn't go back, but I thought they were like the same.
It's a lot better. It's
Hmm.
really?
this the one on the album is the acoustic version, and the one that was released as a single is more has more instruments and is like more upbeat.
Okay.
I don't
So
know why they chose this one for the actual album and didn't just put like an acoustic version like out separately.
Hmm.
But yeah, this is definitely like a skip song. I don't think it's the weakest of the album, but it's definitely not as good as the rest. And for some reason, for me, I feel like it's like the midpoint of the album. I feel like the second half has a very different feel from the first half, like going forward from this
yeah.
song.
Hmm.
So that's interesting.
It's
You
yeah, it's definitely the turning point in the album.
you don't think it's the weakest one? Have you said the weakest one?
Not yet.
Okay,
Okay.
sweet.
Um, yeah, it's kind of like when Radiohead put out True Love Waits, and it's totally different than
Yeah.
what we heard for like years that they play live. Next one is called Lavish. So this one I think is another kind of rap oriented one. It's very different than the other songs, I would say. I think this is like the most different. I don't dislike it. It's fine. It's like a change of pace song, so I'm fine with that. What do you guys think of it?
Like you, I don't hate it. I like it. There's not much to say about it, honestly.
Yeah,
But the opening does remind me. You guys probably don't know about much meme songs, but there's a meme song that's pretty popular in the beginning of the year, and it's like a remix version of Timbaland's song. What is that song called? Give It to Me. It's like a remix version of that, which was used for a bunch of memes, and it always reminds me of it in the beginning.
really.
I always think it's that song. I don't know why. They don't even sound that much. It's got like the same cadence, but that's about it. But every time it starts, I'm like, oh, it's that song.
Jonah?
Yeah, this is interesting. Like you said, I do like it also, but it has like a hip hop feel, but I don't think it's technically hip hop at all.
Yeah.
It just has that kind of like tone to it. It reminded me of like almost of like Gorillaz sort of, but I like it. I like the strings in the middle, kind of. That was a cool touch.
So the next song, number 9, is Navigating. And this one, for me, kind of gets it back on track to like more familiar ground. And I thought at first this one didn't really stand out to me at the first time I listened to it, but the second time I'm like, this one's actually pretty good. What do you guys think of this one?
This one, I'm a sucker for like fast hi-hat songs. This one has a ton, it's pretty much the whole thing. It's like that breakbeat kind of hi-hat. And looking it up because I was interested in how much like Paul Meany had a hand in this album, and this is one that he helped write. And I was like, this makes sense because it kind of sounds like Electrify from
Yeah,
Armistice,
Oh,
the
really?
same like kind of fast hi-hat. And I was like, that kind of makes sense. So going back and listening to it, you can really I feel like I can like hear Paul's like input in this song. So I like it. It's definitely not the strongest song, but I do like it.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. It sounds kind of like it has mute math
hmm
sound in it. Go ahead, Jonah.
Uh, I don't know what my favorite of this album is, but it might be this one. Because, like Jared was saying, love how energetic it is, and it just keeps going and going. And a lot of songs on this, even when they are energetic, they have like a pause in them, but this one just keeps going, and it's like the most rock, pure rock sounding of it, and I think it might be the best of the album.
All right, so we get to number 10, and this is where I think this album could have been 10 tracks long. I know Jared said there was one skip. I would skip this one too. It's Snapback. It does kind of sound like their older stuff, but this is just the point of the album where I kind of felt it kind of drag a little. What do you guys think of this one?
This one I don't hate it. It's a
Yeah,
little
it's
too
not bad.
dreamy. It's a little too dreamy. It's a little drony with his voice. I feel like his voice, if he doesn't change it up, it gets a little droning and kind of just like one note. And I feel like this one really highlights that. But I can't say I hate it. And I don't really skip it that much. It just kind of plays. But
Mhm.
I think you're right. I think they could have cut a couple songs, and if I had to say, it'd be the Craving in this one.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is what I was alluding to as the worst song. Um, I think this is just a straight up bad song. It's short. There's not really anything special. It's just kind of like a couple verses. It just feels like a very generic like hip hop song that you could just put out like on the radio now, and it doesn't have anything that like screams 21 Pilots to me. It's just kind of there.
Called you out, 21 Pilots. We were like, me and Joseph are like, it's not bad. It's straight up bad.
So the next one, Oldie Station. So I've noticed a little bit about something about the singer is that if he sings a little too poppy, it can go into like fun territory where he
Yeah.
sounds like fun, and I don't really like fun. So this is one of those songs. Yeah, I mean, like I said before, look, the last one, it's not bad. It's just not my favorite. It's got a piano that I like in it, so
hmm
that kind of mixes up because I don't think we've had too much piano in this album. But what did you guys think of this one?
This one kind of isn't fair because the whole like premise of the song is about like getting older and kind of having those like oldie songs that you kind of comforting, I guess. And this is another song where I was like, oh, is this Paul? Because he kind of does this a lot, like in the later parts of Mute Math albums. He has these like I guess melancholic kind of like look back on life kind of songs, and it kind of
Hmm.
like it really makes you have like that nostalgic feel, or like it kind of makes you think about getting older. Um, and I feel like it's this one, but I don't feel like they're old guys because I feel like
I
he's
know,
way
right?
older than them. But I do like this song.
So the callbacks I was talking about is during the song they kind of have a chorus that calls back at him. He's singing, but that's what I meant by that. Go ahead, Jonah.
Yeah, pretty much agree with what both of you said. Like this singer can scream, he cannot yell, kind of, because that it's a fine song, but that like yelling in the background during the chorus is so goofy to me, kind of. And it's not like objectively it's a good song, but
Yeah.
it just doesn't like impact me at all. And it's weird how like you said, it has like that nostalgic kind of like the oldies feel. And they have songs on this album that sound like older songs, but not this song.
Hmm.
So that's weird.
Yeah, his screaming, like you guys are saying, is good when it's
Like
like
jumpsuit.
the yeah, jumpsuit and the one from the last album that you guys didn't like. And he doesn't even do it in the album, he does it in the live version, but it's like when he does it as a crescendo,
Hmm.
Yeah, that's always kind of the screaming I've liked. It
kind of like
like
Silver Suns.
Yeah.
yeah, is when you build up to it and it's not like the whole thing. Um,
You have to
so
earn the
the
scream.
you gotta earn the scream. The last two I thought ends the album pretty strong. Number 12 is At the Risk of Feeling Dumb. And it's got a lot of stuff going on, and then I think it does have kind of a scream to it, but what do you guys think of this one?
Did you say the name of this song?
Oh, yeah, At the
Yeah.
Risk of Feeling
Oh,
Dumb.
um, I like this song. I wish it was the ending song. I wish this is
Yeah, I
where the
could have
album
seen
ended.
that.
And then I'll talk about what I thought with the next song. But I like this song. I feel like it should have been the closer.
Yeah, when this one started, it's like it definitely builds up. It has like a slow kind of start, and which I didn't really like, but then once like the chorus hits and like the guitars get like very loud and like kind of distorted, I love that sound. And it has probably the strongest finish of any of the songs on this album. And yeah, this one's really good to me. I don't think it should have been the closer though.
No.
No.
Um, I could have, I don't know. I could see why Jared says it could be the closer, but I actually like the last song, which is Paladin Straight. This is kind of like their version of a ballad, I would say. It's the longest track, and like I said, it does have that false ending, so it kind of ends at like I don't know, like four, and then it continues a couple minutes later. He on this one, it's funny. It's kind of a slower song, right? Like we were saying, it's got kind of acousticness to it. It's funny because it really sounds like he really wanted to rhyme flotation with uh I can't remember the previous lyric, but he really wanted to rhyme flotation with something.
With the expectation or something like that, I
Yeah,
think it
something
was.
like that. But it
Because he
would have
always
worked.
says expectate instead of expectations. And I'm like, why did you do that? It really
I
hurts when you do
Yeah, and
that.
I was like, why don't you just like long elongate flotate and then it would rhyme? But but that was just kind of
Oh
funny to
shit.
me. So what do you guys think?
Okay, so I'll go on a little rant. I think this should have been where the craving was as
Hmm.
the acoustic song. Cut out the false ending. I don't think it does much.
It's
And
kind
you
of for
could
the story, right? Because they
yeah.
Hmm.
kind of name drop Nico and
Yeah.
Clancy.
Um or you could put the false ending on the last song, which I think fades out a little better than this song. Um but I do like this song. I feel like the acoustic bit is better than
yeah.
it's more
Yeah.
complex and it has like a more hook to it. So I feel like just cut off or transplant that false ending to the last song and then made this where the craving was. And I think that would have been for me a stronger album. But what do you think, Jordan?
Um, yeah, I really like this. This is a good song. And like you were saying earlier with like Mute Mouth, like how they always finish with like a melancholic like acoustic song. I was never really a big fan of those songs.
Oh, I always
Um,
those are always like not guilty pleasures, but like they're always like, oh, I like this.
I always
Yeah.
thought like if you just cut that out, this album would be perfect, but this is more of an example of like how to do acoustic right. Like it's not boring, it's like atmospheric kind of. and I think it's a really good closer for the album, and it's
Mhm.
definitely the most story driven of like to their like established story of the album. Because a
Yeah,
lot of
because
ones on this,
you kind of forget about it from because it's
yeah.
really heavy with overcompensate, and
Hmm.
then you forget about it, and then it comes back with this one. You're like, oh yeah.
So I think that's why it closes because it kind of ends like the story of like this whole like arc, and I like that it does is kind of like bookmark the album with the first song, but I think it's a really strong ending to the album.
So is this the end to this story of this like
Yeah,
Clancy and oh okay.
That's what I
it start
read, yeah.
it started with Blurry Face and it ends with this. I think they
So like a
said,
little trilogy.
yeah.
Oh no, but the four. I always forget about the last one.
Well, Trench is really the first that like outright like told the story, so it is kind of a trilogy.
Yeah, it's that one with like that rebel group, like you
Yeah.
see it in the videos, and like you kind of you hear it a lot in this like after the false ending because there's like the little monologue and like stuff like that.
Yeah. So overall, yeah, I think it's a good album. If I had to give it a score, music's hard because sometimes music like grows
Depends
on
on the
you.
day.
Yeah, and sometimes it'll grow on you like an album. Will you be like, I didn't really like that, but then it starts to grow on you. But by just my gut reaction to this one, and like I said, my favorite song uh was Vignette. I don't did you guys say your favorite?
Overcompensate.
Navigating.
Overcomes in that. Okay. So yeah, those were our favorites. So you can put that on your playlist if you want to. But if I had to give this one a score, I'd go with like an 8.6.
Yeah, I this is a strong contender for like album of the year, or I'll probably be thinking of this one when looking back. And I think you kind of hit you kind of hit it like bullseye. I think it'd be like an 8, 8.5. Depends on the day.
Uh, yeah, I same. I really like this. I think Trench will always be the gold standard for me for this band, but I think this is definitely my second favorite from them. Um, this, like you said, is 13 songs long, and personally, I like shorter albums more than longer albums. And but
I think
to
I
this one's
think
credit,
10
it
is perfect, right?
yeah, 10 is perfect.
I do like shorts albums but long songs if that
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
you could do that.
Um, to this album's credit, it flows very fast and very smoothly, and you don't feel the length at all in this album.
No.
Um, and I think, and yeah, to the whole like story thing, like with the concept albums, that was a very cool experiment to have not just like one concept album, but like a trilogy of them, and it is cool, and I really like it. So yeah, it's a good album. I give it like a 7.8.
That's cool. I think their best album personally is that one they did with Mew Math. That's just me
Yeah.
though, but
I hope
so,
they remix with them
Yeah.
yeah,
again.
that'd be cool if we get a remix of this album. That would be great. Yeah, so that's gonna do it for this time. Let us know in the comments or what album you'd like us to check out. I don't know too much about what's coming out this year, so maybe tell
I'll
us what
talk.
you're looking forward to.
Actually, in bonus stuff, I have a because a bunch of albums dropped, so
Oh,
we'll be
really?
talking about
Okay,
that.
nice. So if you guys want us to go in deeper with those two, we could do a review. But yeah, just like, subscribe, and notify yourself for even more good stuff, and we will see you next time. Bye.